First of all, hello, Nan. Great to see you again. We appreciate everything you do for us, and we are looking forward to hopefully seeing you this July, which is just one more of those little things that is out there. This is what we call the unknown. We are in unknown territory, and it seems like every day we are having to replan and make new decisions on the future. And, at this point, I'm just trying to make it day to day. At Institute for Economic Empowerment of Women, our Peace Through Business program is just wrapping up in both Afghanistan and Rwanda, where we are educating women economically, socially, and politically. They have been in a 10-week course. That's 4 hours per day for 2 times per week. They've been building their business plan online during this whole time with the help of an e-mentor. That's someone from the USA who is giving them advice and encouragement on building that business plan for their business. These women are all at least 1 year in business and 51% owners. And we are trying to help them to build a sustainable, small, and medium enterprise to help bring that sustainability to their communities, to their families, and to their countries. So in Afghanistan, as I said, they have graduated, and we're waiting for the last days here in Rwanda. In fact, they had to cut a couple of their classes short because Rwanda has been on remaining in the home, only going out for necessities such as food, medical emergency, only medical emergency, and basically they're on lockdown just like a lot of our cities here in the USA. Rwanda is a small country, but it's quite populated for its size. In fact, our headquarters, Oklahoma City, is a sister city of Kigali, Rwanda, which is the main capital city of Rwanda.
And you're planning to do a conference, right?
Excuse me?
And you're planning to do a conference in July.
Yes, the whole reason for graduation, it entails two things. First, our women have to make their oral presentation of their business plan to an independent panel. And then we also have mentors and graders who are grading the business plans for the written content. So these scores, along with attendance in the 10-week course and the quizzes that happen during the 10-week course, are all put together, and the top 15 women are chosen for further education here in the United States, sponsored by AT&T University in Las Colinas, Texas. They have a campus there where we are able to house our women, to use their conference facilities and their cafeteria and catering services while we are doing a 2-week, not 10-week. The leadership development is a 2-week intensive that delves more into leadership. We also have courses on crisis management, which is, of course, right on cue this year, and several other different opportunities. And the biggest thing is bringing these women together with American businesswomen and letting them share with these women how they are doing business, how they live in their daily lives, the kind of networking that they do to support each other, etc. So this is a critical moment and we're just not sure. Right now, visa departments are closed down in both Rwanda and Afghanistan. So, can our women even go in May? And it has to be May, because if we're doing our leadership development in Texas in July, then May is the 90-day period for a visa. And it would be expiring at the end of July. So how do we make sure that we're going to be in that right time frame? And can visa departments in the consulates in Afghanistan and Rwanda be open at this time? And how is the United States of America going to react to bringing 15 women from Afghanistan and 15 women from Rwanda into our country in this summer? How does that all work? So, of course, we're having to look at optional plans. There's always um, virtual. Of course, everyone is figuring out the beauty of virtual right now. And maybe it's a cancellation or a postponement. So, which one of these options do you take? Um, we've decided to wait until late next week, and then get with our board of directors, and at that point see where we are and what everyone thinks. And we've been listening. I don't know how this is for everyone, but here in Oklahoma, we're constantly listening. Both our small businesses, of course, 50% of people in our country all dine out now. So the restaurant business is 12% of GDP in our country. And these institutions hire, they employ a lot of people, so they've got their own concerns. Other small businesses that have to close down completely have concerns, and nonprofits have concerns. So we've had our senators, federal senators, our state senators, our governor, everyone online talking to us in these different groups about how we move forward. And of course, in the USA, everyone now knows that there are going to be small business association loans. Um, and some of these loans will turn into grants that won't have to be paid back as long as you're keeping people employed and paying your rents with these monies. And how long is this going? At first we thought 2 weeks. We just went on complete isolation, or as much as isolation as we can do, yesterday here in Oklahoma, our headquarters. Other cities have already, and states have already done that. Um, so that's 2 weeks, but then people are talking about even going further. And there's been word that probably the peak in the United States will be April 14th through the May 15th. Which one of these dates and numbers are we really looking at? And what's the fallout afterward? Can all of these small businesses reopen after the period of isolation and staying closed to fight the coronavirus, COVID-19? So there's just every day, everyone has so many questions and unknowns. And, we compare it to what's happened in our world before, such as the 2008 financial crisis, 9/11. How does it compare to each one of these things? Y2K. And I heard one of our supporters yesterday, his name is Jim Blassingame. He had a great article comparing it to the Y2K and how much we prepared. If you remember, we prepared for total wipeout of our technology, all kinds of things. And we never really felt anything. So his whole purpose was, it's going to be difficult, but let's hope that it's just like that and we sail through it and barely anything happens and we come out on the other side and we're just thankful that it was a blip and we have no idea whether what we did worked or not, but we're all safe and being able to continue in our communities and our families.
Well, let's hope so, but that's not really what the prognosis is, so we'll see. So you're
That's
planning
right.
on just, let's see, May 15th. So you're planning on about 6 weeks is what you're thinking.
Yes.
And if it goes longer than that, then that really will be a problem because you are not going to be able to get the visas for the women. And then still, they may not be able to get into the country, as you said.
Right. And the airlines are shutting down certain routes. So, how will that affect? I do know that the fares are really inexpensive right now for the routes that I need from Rwanda and from Afghanistan compared to years past. But do you invest in that and then have it? It's all just an up in the air. Who knows?
So, what are your plans if it goes for, say, 6 months?
Well, I think one of the best options is to do come up with a virtual type of conference. And the way I was seeing it was instead of the 2 weeks that we have, 1 week is on campus with intensive learning with our uh, education partner, Northwood University, with various businesswomen from the United States, all over the United States. Some of those are sponsored by our sponsors, Bank of America, AT&T, et cetera. Others are volunteers. And so taking that and maybe putting it together in 3 mornings, because we also have the time difference between the central part of the United States, Africa, East Africa, and then in Asia, which is Afghanistan. So early mornings where we can not keep them up too late at night. And then there's also guaranteeing that we have the technology and they are not having problems with their internet. So we've already talked and thought, let's find the best internet provider in your country and see if they will sponsor a place where the women could go and be able to participate without any interruptions.
How has this affected you personally?
Well, it's just up in the air. My mother works for the state senate of Oklahoma. So last Tuesday, I had a note from her, a text, and she said, "We're about to be tested for coronavirus. Someone in the office has tested positive." So I had just been with her all day on Sunday, 2 days before, and she had been around several friends of ours. And so this worried me. I immediately got up and left work, just not knowing what the situation was. And they told her she would be able to get her test results within 48 hours. That came and went, 36 hours, 72 hours. Finally, on day 6, which was this Monday, she found out that she was negative.
Thank
So
So she's going to quarantine herself still now, or will she go back
yes,
to work?
she was forced to self quarantine. Of course, the first day she was already fidgety, and she went over to get some to go food at our friend's restaurant that is delivering curbside. And she'll continue to self quarantine, and they are closed at least through the 27th. Of course, they stopped in the middle of session. This is the time of year for legislators to be in session. So it's a very critical time for them. But we're just thankful. She said, "Oh, I'm going to go celebrate." She lives a block from a nice restaurant here in town. And she said, "I'm going to go celebrate and get some to-go food at my favorite restaurant."
Well, maybe that's the way to look at it. Let's celebrate and go get our to-go food.
Yes. Now I've stayed away. I've been staying quarantined, and luckily, because we work in Afghanistan and Rwanda and all over the United States with people, we are well prepared for working at home, working remotely, working online. We use different tools, just like you're using Zoom. We can use Zoom. We use Google for Business, so everything is in the cloud. We can work together. We just downloaded Google Duo on our phones so that we can be all in touch with each other. All I have to do is let them know I'm calling, and then I have a group button, and I push that button, and we're all in contact.
Well, it sounds like you're doing everything you can to prepare. So I thank you so much for sharing what's going on with you. We'll probably catch up with you midstream, maybe in late April or early May, and see where you are then.
All right. I just wanted to share a couple of things. Just two quick notes. It's very short notes from two of our students, just to kind of show that, it's all over the globe. All over the globe, we are all having the same issues. We're all dealing with the same things. So this first one is a student from Rwanda that has an inn, a small inn. Take off my glasses so I can see. Um, she says, "Hello, I hope this email finds you well. This coronavirus has been affecting my business in one way, but the good thing is my customers were supposed to leave on 25th of March, but because they closed all roads, they have decided to leave when all this problem is solved. So they decided to increase the contract for a month. Now, to me, I can say that I wasn't as affected as most people, even though I could be forced to leave them here without charging them because of coronavirus. Thank you and warm regards, Amina." And then another from Afghanistan. "Thank you, Sonia, for asking. COVID-19 virus has made all things unusual in the globe and affected every single business. The government also enforcing the new rules for avoiding spreading a virus. We also have taken some preventive measures which limited our productions and other works. We hope the globe will be able to overcome this global challenge. We are still working on our business with some initiative and preventive measures. If you have any questions, please let me know. Zarmina." Now, I'm reading, and they are talking in their second or third language. So, but we get the gist of it and we understand.
Well, let's hope it gets better for all of us. Thank you so much, Carol, for participating.
Thank you, Nan. We appreciate you.